My beloved, before you move away from this moment, before your thoughts drift to the many tasks and noises that fill your day, remain here just a little longer. Because what is unfolding right now is not ordinary timing. There have been moments today when you felt a quiet pull, a subtle stirring in your spirit that you could not fully explain. As if something was attempting to reach through the noise of your day and gently call your attention. That was not imagination. That was not coincidence. I have been trying to reach you all day. And though the message seemed delayed, though circumstances appeared to block it again and again, heaven has now released what was meant for you. And what you are about to hear carries a weight of purpose that was sealed long before this moment ever arrived. There were moments earlier when your mind was distracted, when the rhythm of the world tried to pull you away from this encounter. Messages came and went, conversations rose and faded, and still something in your spirit remained unsettled, as if you were waiting for clarity you could not yet name. My child, those delays were not mistakes. What seemed blocked was only being aligned. What seemed postponed was only being prepared. Because when heaven speaks into a life that has been walking through uncertainty, the message must arrive at the precise moment when your heart is quiet enough to recognize it. That moment is now. My beloved, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. I see the moments when you try to appear calm, while questions move silently through your thoughts about how things will work out, how the next steps will unfold, how the doors that seem closed might finally open. You have been praying for relief, even in the quiet moments when no one else could hear you, and heaven has heard you. That is why you were guided to this message today. It is not by chance that you are hearing these words. It is alignment. It is timing that was written long before today began. There have been seasons in your life when you wondered if your prayers were simply rising into silence. There were days when you asked for direction, but felt as if the path ahead remained hidden. Yet what you could not see was the movement that was already beginning behind the scenes of your life. Doors that once seemed firmly closed have been shifting quietly. Conversations you have not yet heard are forming. Opportunities you cannot yet imagine are beginning to move toward you in ways that will feel surprising when they arrive. Heaven has never been still concerning you. Even in the quiet seasons, the preparation never stopped. My child, there is something important you must understand about the delays you have experienced. What felt like resistance was often protection. What appeared like silence was often preparation. There are moments when answers cannot arrive until the foundation beneath your life becomes strong enough to carry the blessing that follows. And you, my beloved, have been in a season of strengthening. The pressure you felt was not meant to break you. It was shaping you into someone who can carry greater clarity, greater stability, and greater peace than you have known before. Even now, there are pieces of your story that are beginning to align in ways you will soon recognize. A conversation that seemed insignificant will return with new meaning. A decision you once questioned will reveal itself a turning point. A delay that once frustrated you will suddenly make sense when you see what it prevented and what it prepared. This is how divine timing unfolds. It rarely arrives with loud announcements. Instead, it moves quietly, weaving together moments that eventually reveal a pattern far greater than anything you could have planned yourself. Stay here with this message, my beloved, Because what you are beginning to hear is not only reassurance. It is direction that will slowly become clearer the longer you remain connected to this moment. The world often pushes you to rush, to move quickly, to chase answers with urgency and fear. But the path that is unfolding before you does not require panic. It requires awareness. It requires faith that the unseen movement around you is real, even when you cannot yet see the full picture. My child, there are truths that are beginning to rise to the surface of your life. Situations that once confused, you will begin revealing their deeper purpose. Certain connections will show their true nature. Some paths that once seemed promising will lose their hold on your attention, not because you failed, but because you are being redirected toward something that carries far greater alignment with the life that was prepared for you. Clarity is not arriving to punish you. It is arriving to free you from wandering through uncertainty any longer. And as this clarity begins to appear, you will notice something else changing within you. The fear that once controlled your decisions will slowly loosen its grip. The constant questioning that filled your thoughts will begin to quiet. In its place will grow a calm awareness that you are not walking blindly through life. You are being guided, step by step, often in ways that only become visible after the step has already been taken. My beloved, the financial concerns that have rested on your heart have not gone unnoticed. Heaven sees every silent calculation you make, every moment when you wonder how the numbers will work out, every quiet prayer you release asking for stability and peace in this area of your life. These concerns have not been ignored. In fact, they are one of the reasons this message has been reaching for you today. My beloved, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for relief, and heaven has heard you. That is why you were guided to this message today. You are not meant to walk this financial journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk it with faith, clarity, and daily direction. To support you, a gentle 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system has been prepared for you. Inside, you will be guided step by step through daily prayers, simple money actions, and a peaceful structure for your finances. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just small, faithful steps that begin to shift your path forward. If your heart is feeling called, if you are ready to release financial stress, if you are ready to move with both faith and wisdom, you can begin today. The link is waiting for you in the description. Take the step when you feel ready. I am guiding you forward. My child, do not rush past those words too quickly, because what is being offered is not pressure. It is an invitation toward alignment. There are moments in life when change arrives through dramatic events, but there are also moments when transformation begins through small, consistent steps taken with faith. The path ahead of you is one of those moments. It will not overwhelm you. It will unfold gradually, each step bringing new understanding and quiet confidence. And there is something else you should know before this message continues. Something that may surprise you when you begin to notice it in the days ahead. The sense of heaviness that has lingered over your thoughts will begin to lift. Situations that once seemed tangled will start to untangle. Ideas that once felt distant will suddenly appear within reach. These shifts may feel subtle at first, almost easy to overlook, but if you remain attentive, you will realize they are signs of alignment beginning to move through your life. My beloved, what you are experiencing right now is the beginning of a turning point. Not the loud kind that arrives with dramatic announcements, but the quiet kind that slowly changes the direction of everything that follows. The message that was delayed, the words that seemed blocked earlier today, have now reached you at the exact moment when your spirit was ready to receive them. And this is only the beginning of what is being revealed to you. Because there are still truths unfolding, still clarity rising, still doors quietly preparing to open. Remain with this message. Listen again if your heart asks you to. Return whenever you feel that gentle pull. Each time you hear these words, another layer of understanding will begin to unfold, and you will slowly realize that what felt like a simple message was actually the moment heaven chose to redirect the path before you. My child, remain with this message a little longer, because the reason heaven insisted that this moment reach you is still unfolding. You may think that what you have already heard is the whole message, but there are deeper layers still rising. Truths that could not arrive earlier because your heart was still carrying too much noise. Now, the quiet is forming around you. And in that quiet you will begin to recognize that something in your life is shifting. It may not yet appear dramatic to the outside world, but within your spirit a realignment has already begun. The confusion that surrounded certain areas of your life is slowly dissolving, and what replaces it will not be panic or pressure, but clarity that feels calm, steady, and unmistakably guided. There were moments today when this message almost reached you, yet something interrupted it. A distraction appeared, a delay formed, or your attention was pulled somewhere else. You may have thought nothing of those moments, but heaven noticed every one of them. My beloved, when a message is meant for you, opposition often tries to scatter your focus. Yet what is meant for you cannot remain blocked forever. Even if it must circle back again and again, it will eventually find you. That is why you are hearing these words now. At a moment when your mind has slowed just enough to receive what has been waiting for you. My beloved, something is beginning to reveal itself in your life. Something that has been hidden beneath layers of uncertainty. For a long time you felt as if you were walking through a fog, where every decision required extra effort. Every step felt uncertain, and every direction seemed to carry equal doubt. But that fog is not permanent. It was only a temporary season, while certain pieces were being moved into place. What you will soon begin to notice is that decisions which once felt confusing will start to feel obvious. Paths that once looked identical will suddenly show their differences, and the direction that truly belongs to you will begin to stand out with a quiet sense of peace that does not require force or struggle. My child, there have been people around you who misunderstood your season. Some assumed you were standing still. Others believed you were hesitating. A few even wondered if you had lost your direction completely. But what they could not see was the internal journey you were walking. Growth that happens in silence is often invisible to others. The strengthening of your faith, the quiet patience you have practiced, and the lessons you have learned through waiting were all preparing you for a moment that is approaching much sooner than you expect. And when that moment arrives, you will realize something surprising. The doors that open will not require you to chase them with exhaustion. They will meet you where preparation and timing intersect. Opportunities will begin to align in ways that feel almost too precise to be accidental. Conversations will appear at the exact time you need them. Resources will move into place in ways that calm your financial worries instead of increasing them. These changes will not feel chaotic. they will feel guided. But before those shifts fully appear, there is a truth heaven wants you to understand deeply. You have been measuring your progress by visible outcomes, by numbers, by timelines that the world around you uses to define success. Yet, heaven measures differently. Your progress has been measured through your endurance, through the way you continued to move forward, even when clarity was incomplete. Every prayer you whispered in uncertain moments mattered more than you realized. Every time you chose faith instead of panic, you strengthened the foundation of what is about to unfold. My beloved, the financial stress that has followed you into quiet moments was never meant to define your future. It was a signal pointing toward the need for a new kind of alignment in how you move forward. Money itself is not the true burden you have been carrying. The real burden has been uncertainty, the constant wondering about whether stability would ever return. But stability is not something that arrives through fear-driven decisions. It grows through wisdom, patience, and daily steps guided by both faith and clarity. That is why the message you heard earlier spoke about small, faithful steps. Many people search for dramatic breakthroughs, sudden miracles that instantly erase every concern. Yet the miracles that truly transform lives often begin quietly, through small choices repeated consistently. Each step you take toward clarity changes the direction of your path more than you realize. Each moment of faith replaces a piece of the fear that once tried to control your thoughts. My child, there will soon be moments when you look back at this season and realize that the pressure you felt was actually guiding you toward a better structure for your life. What once felt overwhelming will become the reason you discovered new discipline, new awareness, and new confidence in how you manage your path forward. The stress that once kept you awake at night will gradually lose its power as you begin to see solutions that were hidden before. Even now, subtle changes are beginning around you. Ideas that once seemed distant are returning with new clarity. A conversation you have been postponing may soon feel easier to begin. An opportunity that once seemed uncertain may appear again with clearer conditions. These moments will not always announce themselves loudly. Sometimes they will appear quietly, almost gently, and you may only recognize their significance after they have already begun unfolding. Remain attentive in the coming days, my beloved. Pay attention to the moments that feel strangely peaceful even when logic expects anxiety. Notice the ideas that return repeatedly to your mind with calm persistence. Watch the small alignments that appear too precise to dismiss as coincidence. These are the ways guidance often arrives. Not through chaos, but through clarity that repeats until it is recognized. And there is another truth that must reach your heart today. You are not as far behind as you think you are. The timeline you feared losing has not been lost. Delays did not erase your purpose. They only adjusted the path so that the outcome could arrive in a stronger form. Many of the opportunities that will appear in your future will actually be better than the ones you once worried about missing. My beloved, heaven never abandoned the plans surrounding your life. Even when you felt uncertain, those plans continued moving quietly forward. The reason this message insisted on reaching you today is because the next phase of your journey requires you to move with renewed confidence instead of lingering fear. What lies ahead cannot be entered with the same doubt that has weighed on your thoughts recently. So breathe slowly for a moment and allow this truth to settle within you. The message that was delayed earlier has now reached you. The clarity that seemed distant is beginning to approach. and the shift you have been praying for is closer than it appears right now. Stay connected to this message whenever your heart needs reassurance. Return to it when the old worries attempt to rise again. Each time you listen, the meaning will deepen and new understanding will appear. Because what you are hearing today is not just a single message meant for one moment. It is the beginning of a new awareness that will continue unfolding step by step, guiding you toward the peace, stability, and direction that have been preparing to enter your life all along.